founded 30 years ago by Beverly LaHaye. Today, Concerned Women for America is the largest public policy organization for women with membership of 500,000. CWA organizes prayer chapters in nearly every state and effectively shapes public policy on the local, state, and federal levels. The mission of CWA is to protect and promote biblical values among all citizens, first through prayer, then education, and finally by influencing society. It works to defend traditional family values so that each individual may realize their God-given potential and be more responsible citizens. CWA is dedicated to being the voice for American women in the fight to protect our children's freedom both monetarily and culturally. Trained CWA leaders also lobby elected officials on matters in 6 core areas: family and marriage, sanctity of human life, education, pornography, religious liberty, and national sovereignty. Once a month, volunteers travel to Washington, D.C. to lobby members of Congress on pressing national issues through the ministry's Project 535.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is PennyNance, and I'm the CEO of Concerned Women for America, the nation's largest public policy organization for women with 500,000 members representing every state in the nation. This week's State of the Union address brought to mind the farewell address of George Washington, who gave the nation excellent advice in 1796. Washington left office warning Congress of the dangers of debt, celebrating the necessity of Judeo-Christian morality to the success of the Republic, and warning against political party divisions and foreign entanglements. By contrast, in last week's address, President Obama offered instead empty promises that no one believed, change purely for the sake of change, and a sturdy resistance to new ideas. Despite overwhelming evidence of the public's rejection of his radical policies, the President used his speech to announce that he will not budge, instead choosing to stand by his policies. More spending, more debt, and more rejected social engineering. What are Americans to think of all this? What are American women to think? One advertising expert recently told CNBC about 83 cents of every dollar is either spent or influenced by women in the United States today. If that is the case, you have to wonder why this president would go out of his way to ignore the concerns of women. Instead of maintaining a top-quality military, President Obama wants to experiment with radical social policies to appease his left wing, largely downplaying the ongoing threat of terrorism to our families. Instead of cutting spending, we find the president merely wants to slow down increases in the discretionary spending. Instead of tax relief, the president talks a good game, but no one is fooled as our families await the coming tax spike of lapsing Bush tax cuts and ponders our children's future under $12 trillion of national debt. Let's get serious. The women of America control our household purse strings literally and recognize irresponsible spending. We will fight the intergenerational theft that has become the economic linchpin of the Obama administration, and we will fight any attempts to weaken our military. I would like to close my remarks by quoting Concerned Women for America's state leader in North Dakota. She recently wrote, "We are in a period of history in this great nation when sadly the words of Thomas Jefferson have come true. A government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have. It is up to us to make sure government gets out of the way of freedom and back into the service of the people. The very core principles of the Constitution are at risk in the public square today. We are overspending, creating more poverty through government handouts, disregarding national sovereignty, undermining the family, and throwing away the greatest stimulus package of all, our children. After a long slide towards socialism that permeates our entire society, we must stand up and turn back to what the Founding Fathers gave us, a limited government of the people, by the people, and for the people." And I say amen, and I will add, let's join together, not just in North Dakota, but across all of America, and be that example of servant leadership and fight to get our government back on track in its proper role, so future generations may enjoy our God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. May God bless America.
Great job, Penny. I will not only say amen, but I'll say thank God, and in God we trust, because there are people who are trying to take God out of our society. Now, what would you describe as the top 3 issues that the women of America are concerned about?
Well, there's more than 3.
I know it's more than 3.
We are hearing so much, Herman, from our members, and as I said, we have 500,000 across this country and growing. We're hearing a lot about, their concern over the forced complicity of American women in other people's abortions through tax dollars.
Right.
We're concerned about the coarsening of the culture through Hollywood, through television, the inundation of just, what we're seeing every day. And then, finally, we're really concerned about this intergenerational theft that is really robbing our children's future. So we're not taking this laying down. Concerned Women for America is fighting the battle, and we need more help.
A lot of people may not realize that you all have been around for as long as you have.
That's right. That's right. Beverly LaHaye founded our organization back in the 70s in response really to the ERA. I mean, back when Betty Friedan was pretending to speak for all of American women, Beverly LaHaye literally stood up on herself and said, "She does not speak for me." So she went forward and founded our organization and successfully fought the ERA, and we've never stopped.
That is great. And in the opening, it talked about you all are working to have a country on bended knee.
That's right. Well, we are founded on prayer, and we found prayer chapters across the country. We are an organization of Christian women and men. We love men in our organization.
Good.
So
you have men members too, right?
That's right. We'll accept men, and families certainly.
Yes.
So, yes, prayer is very pivotal for what we do. It's the foundation of everything we do.
Well, Penny, thank you, and please keep up the good work.
The State of the Union, the voice of the people. This has been a presentation by the Hardage Company and tvtownhall.com.